Yes. Hi guys, it's me again. Yeah, and you can look at the piece we have been working on so far and seeing that we've made quite some progress here. We've had quite a bit of color and texture and shade to the piece. Now we want to wrap this up. This could be our final video on this subject, which is quite good so far. So we want to get a little bit more shadow in here to highlight the areas and to really deepen um, the space, really. So as you see, I'm having a much smaller brush. I'm starting out with a smaller brush, and I'm going to be using just a bit of black, diluted black, gray, to sort of deepen the contours of the tree and to create a sort of transition between the ink and the colors. So once we complete this, I think I would want to call this piece done for now. There's one thing you need to realize about paintings. You can almost work on them indefinitely, and there will be always something to do. But at some point, if you want to move on to something else, and the work you've done on this is satisfactory, then yeah, move on to something else. I think so far this is coming together quite nicely, and so adding a bit of shadow here. Just look for the grooves and under the branches, and add a little bit of shadows cast by the vine on the top and the bottom. And yeah, I'm off screen again, but what can I do? Pull that in, pull that into view. Yeah, and just look for areas that need to be docked a little bit, just to force the light, enforce the light coming from the upper right, and a bit more black. And this is going to be a very interesting bit of shadow cast under here, seeing that this is sort of wrapping around the tree, so it's going to cast the shadow back to the tree. And already you've seen that I've hinted at this shadow with that blue that we've created underneath underneath here. But yeah, let's add some shadows in around the edges, creating contours and stuff. And the thing about watercolor you realize is that you kind of gradually layer it up. The first mistake you person will make when they start out in watercolor is thinking that you just put it on like acrylic or oil paint. No, it's a very different experience. Acrylic is traditionally opaque. Obviously, you can dilute it down, and the same with oil. Oil you can dilute it down, but more more often you'll find that with oil paint, you just literally get it from the tube, add a bit of solvent or linseed oil to dilute it, just to spread it, but you still maintain that the opaque nature of it. While watercolor is quite the reverse. It tends to dilute it down to almost a wash, and with each layer, you start to build up that density, which creates the volume and the depth. As you can see that I'm actually making the trunk of this oak tree appear a bit round. By pushing the edges back, you create a sort of a round shape, which is good. Yeah. And Look for places to highlight and to darken, and you can see that the black is really helping to create a transition, or the gray, I would say, because this is a bit diluted watercolor black, which creates a sort of a gray, neutral gray. But that is really good for this piece in particular, because if you look at most of these under here, you look at the pen line. The pen lines themselves are pretty striking, and you want to create a little bit of a transition between these lines and the surface itself. These lines are very strong lines, so by adding a little bit of shadow, yeah, it creates a little transition and it fades out nicely, just like in a realistic event. The shadow would have a gradient to it if you think about it like that. Here's my black pencil that I've been using to create this, and the next thing I discovered about watercolor many years back, you don't need much of it. You do not need much of it. A really small amount of it you use like this can go a really long way. As I said, look at how small amount. I sort of just dab a little bit from the tip, and that goes quite a long way with a bit of water. If you're using just white watercolor paper, then you'll find that the slightest slither of anything, any color, any shade would start to create an impression on the paper, which if you control that, you can create just about any contour. Once you start creating contours and mass, then you have what you need. Although some people tend to paint much darker, more density. Well, that's not important. But as I said initially, let's have some fun with it. Yeah, this is coming down to right now. I've got a few more minutes before we want to wrap this up. Had a bit more shade in there, and good. Get all this the whole, because realistically, see how closely I'm going to these corners. Yeah, I'm creating these shadow, and occasionally you see the light bubbles, white bubbles in the actual shadow. You don't want those. Just take those out. Yeah, and that's it. Shadow here, shadow there. Obviously, we could work on this a bit more. We could go on for several more episodes and start to even rework some of the colors. But I guess you get the idea. You have to stop at some point. Yeah, just looking for areas to wash in. A bit more water on that and just get that in. Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. Right there. Yeah, we're coming up to an end now, guys, and it was fantastic working on this tree with you guys. And hope, as I said, hope someone is inspired to try this out. And thanks for watching. And stay tuned. We'll have some more like this and even different subject coming up. Catch you later, guys. And I'm out. And